Have you ever wondered how a simple twist of fate can lead to some of the most horrific accidents in history? It's a thought that might have crossed your mind in passing, but it's the unsettling reality of our existence. Accidents, by their very definition, are unpredictable, random events that often bear significant changes and consequences. They lurk in the shadows of our daily lives, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, when we least expect them. They're the result of a series of unlikely events colliding at just the right moment. They're the embodiment of chaos theory, where a single, seemingly insignificant event can snowball into a catastrophe. The impact is often far-reaching, not just for those directly involved but for entire communities, countries, and even the world. Their ripple effects shape our history, influence our policies, and change our perspectives. Now, let's delve into some of the most horrific accidents that have shaped our history. The sinking of Titanic in 1912 was an accident that shocked the world. This behemoth of a ship, heralded as unsinkable, met its fate in the freezing waters of the Atlantic Ocean on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City. The cause, a catastrophic collision with an iceberg that tore open the ship's side like a tin can. Just after midnight on April 15th, the unsinkable began to sink. Panic ensued as passengers and crew alike realized the dire nature of their situation. The Titanic, despite its size and grandeur, was tragically under-equipped with lifeboats, only enough to carry a third of those on board. The freezing water claimed the lives of over 1,500 people, from the steerage class to the creme de la creme of society. The sinking of the Titanic was not just a maritime disaster, but an event that shook humanity to its core. It exposed glaring flaws in safety regulations and initiated a complete overhaul of maritime laws. The International Ice Patrol was established to monitor iceberg threats in the North Atlantic, and the number of lifeboats required on a ship was redefined based on its capacity. The Titanic's story remains a stark reminder of human hubris and the power of nature. It's a testament to the fact that no matter how advanced we become, we are still at the mercy of the natural world, and that safety should never be compromised for grandeur or complacency. Fast forward to 1986, the world witnessed one of the worst nuclear disasters in history, Chernobyl. In the early hours of April 26th, in the heart of the Soviet Union, an explosion shook the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. This was no ordinary explosion, it was a nuclear meltdown. Reactor number 4 had failed, releasing a plume of radioactive material that would billow across the continent. The immediate aftermath was devastating. 2 plant workers died on the night of the accident, and a further 28 people died within a few weeks as a result of acute radiation sickness. But the human cost didn't end there. Thousands more would suffer from the long-term effects of radiation exposure, leading to cancer and other illnesses. The exact number of lives affected is still a topic of heated debate among scientists today. The environment didn't escape unscathed either. The land surrounding the reactor became contaminated with radioactive material, creating an exclusion zone of nearly 1,000 square miles. Even now, decades later, parts of this zone remain too dangerous for human habitation. But Chernobyl wasn't just a tragedy, it was a wake-up call. The disaster sparked a global re-evaluation of nuclear safety and policy. In the Soviet Union and beyond, it led to sweeping changes in the way nuclear power plants were built and operated. The importance of transparency, regulatory oversight, and emergency preparedness were brought into sharp focus. Chernobyl also had a profound impact on public opinion. The accident fueled fears about the safety of nuclear power, leading many countries to reconsider their use of this energy source. Some nations scaled back their nuclear programs, while others sought to improve safety measures and invest in alternative energy sources. And so, the legacy of Chernobyl lives on. Not just in the abandoned buildings and irradiated lands of the exclusion zone, but in the global consciousness. The disaster serves as a stark reminder of the power we wield and the responsibility that comes with it. Chernobyl serves as a grim reminder of the potential danger of nuclear power when not handled correctly. In 2001, what started as a typical September morning would soon become a day etched indelibly into the annals of history. Just another day turned into one of the most horrific accidents in modern history. On the 11th day of September, at the heart of America's financial district in New York City, the unimaginable occurred. 4 commercial airplanes, commandeered by 19 terrorists, became instruments of mass destruction. 2 of these jets, American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175, were flown directly into the North and South Towers of the World Trade Center. The towers, once symbolic of America's economic might, were reduced to rubble within hours. Not only did these attacks result in the tragic loss of nearly 3,000 lives, they also left countless others scarred, physically and emotionally. First responders and ordinary citizens alike showed extraordinary courage and resilience in the face of unimaginable horror, becoming beacons of hope amidst the chaos. But the ripple effects of this tragedy extend far beyond the immediate devastation. The attack shook the world, leading to profound changes in global politics and security. They sparked a renewed focus on counter-terrorism efforts worldwide and led to the implementation of stricter security measures, particularly in air travel. The events of that fateful day also marked the beginning of a war. The United States, joined by its allies, embarked on a global hunt for those responsible, leading to the invasion of Afghanistan and a prolonged conflict that has lasted for more than 2 decades. These attacks were not just an assault on buildings or a city, but an attack on the fundamental values of freedom and democracy. The gaping hole left in New York's skyline is a stark reminder of the lives lost, the bravery shown, and the unity that emerged from the ashes. The 9/11's attacks have forever changed the world, and our perception of security. A day that began like any other but ended with the world irrevocably altered, reminding us of the fragility of life and the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity. A decade ago in 2011, another nuclear disaster struck, this time in Fukushima, Japan. On the fateful day of March 11th, the Earth shook off the east coast of Japan, triggering one of the most powerful earthquakes in recorded history. The magnitude 9 temblor was so powerful that it moved Honshu, Japan's main island, 8 feet to the east, and shifted the Earth on its axis. Yet the earthquake was just the beginning. It gave birth to a monstrous tsunami, a wall of water reaching heights of up to 40 meters that surged over the coastline, swallowing entire towns in its path. The tsunami's destructive force breached the defenses of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, knocking out the power and disabling the cooling systems for 3 nuclear reactors. In the aftermath, these reactors underwent a series of meltdowns and explosions, releasing radioactive materials into the environment, an unseen enemy that would linger for years to come. The immediate vicinity of the power plant turned into a ghost town overnight as the government ordered an evacuation within a 20-kilometer radius. Over 150,000 residents were displaced, their homes swallowed, not by the water, but by the invisible threat of radiation. The Fukushima disaster sent shockwaves through the world of nuclear energy policy. In Japan, it led to a complete rethink of nuclear power as a source of energy. The country shut down all its nuclear reactors in the aftermath, with a slow and cautious return to nuclear power only years later. Globally, it sparked a renewed debate on the safety of nuclear energy, especially in regions susceptible to earthquakes and tsunamis. The Fukushima disaster was a stark reminder of the powerful forces of nature and the potential dangers of nuclear energy. It was a lesson in humility, a demonstration of our vulnerability in the face of nature's fury, and the potential consequences of our technological advancements. The Fukushima disaster underscores the risks associated with nuclear energy, particularly in areas prone to natural disasters. From the sinking of the Titanic to the Fukushima disaster, these accidents have left indelible marks on our history. Through our journey today, we've delved into some of the most horrific accidents that have occurred over the past century. Each of these events, catastrophic in their own right, have shaped our world in profound ways. The sinking of the Titanic, for instance, led to significant improvements in maritime safety regulations. The lessons learned from this disaster have undoubtedly saved countless lives since. The Chernobyl nuclear disaster, on the other hand, served as a grim reminder of the potential dangers of nuclear energy, leading to stricter safety protocols and more rigorous inspection standards worldwide. The tragic events of September 11, 2001, forever changed the way we view and handle security, particularly in air travel. The catastrophe led to the creation of the Transportation Security Administration and a complete overhaul of aviation security procedures. The Fukushima disaster, the most recent event we discussed, has significantly impacted our global consciousness about the potential risks of nuclear power, leading to shifts in energy policies in various countries. In essence, these horrific accidents have shaped and continue to shape our policies, safety regulations, and global consciousness. They serve as stark reminders of the potential consequences of overlooking safety and security measures. While accidents are unpredictable, understanding these historic events can help us prevent similar tragedies in the future.